After a 4-year-long wait, a playoff final loss in 2020, losing out on playoffs last season on the final day.
Embarrassing.
My hometown club, Frosinone, are back in Serie A for the third time in history.
If you don't got this watch right here, you a little boy to me. I'll kiss you on your forehead. You a little boy.
They gained automatic promotion with 3 games to spare, finishing champions of Serie B under the guidance of 2006 Italian World Cup winner Fabio Grosso.
How? I don't know.
He entrusted a young group of Italian players, free agents, loanees, and a couple of veterans in the mix to achieve the perfect promotion balance. In a campaign where nobody expected this team to do anything, he came and delivered the ultimate glory. So today I'm taking over with myself at the helm, crafting my own legacy and bringing my province to territory never traversed before, into the top flight, Europe and beyond. Nevertheless, this is the team we're working with, and we'll be playing with an exciting, pragmatic style of play that's going to trouble the top teams and guide us out of the second division as quickly as possible. And with this shoestring budget of only £4 million, we're forced into moneyballing our way to the top. My next mission is to go back over, watch a game or two, take a tour around the stadium, watch them live, and hopefully document the whole trip in the process. If you want a bit of extra backstory, you lot might have remembered my 50k subscriber special back in the day on FIFA 20. If you've watched that video, you're a real one.
Let's go. Get in. Come on. Let's go, baby. Come on. Yes.
If you guys go on to enjoy this one a little bit more personal, a little bit more close to home for me, make sure to drop the video a like down below. I'm taking a trip deep into the youth academy where we have our homegrown talent, Mattia Lombardi, the 17-year-old with 75 to 94 potential. The striker slash centre forward is a target man at 6'6". He has the playmaker trait in his locker, 5-star weak foot, high attack and work rate, 4-star skill moves, already with 99 strength, 91 jumping, 94 aggression. Have we just stumbled upon the Italian Akinfenwa? We're promoting the young bull without hesitation. Now, one of the main issues we have to fight, and is probably one of the main issues when you take over a second division side, is that most of your best players are on loan. So we're going to have to invest and plan for the future. We are focused in on bringing in stability and kicking off this promotion campaign with a bang. Now, I'll try be keeping this realistic as possible, like going after players that we've sought out in real life and who we're linked to, but at the end of the day, it's my personal save with my own team. Like, it's as personal as it gets. It's my fantasy dream, really. So our first big player move is going to be Christian Volpato. We'll be swooping in on the wonder kid from the capital for a 2-year loan spell with an option to buy. He's just like me for real. He's born in Australia, claiming Italian heritage. I mean, this kid grew up down the road from me, and he's ended up rubbing shoulders with Mourinho at Roma, and I've ended up signing him on FIFA, talking about how he's rubbing shoulders with Mourinho. Yeah, trust me guys, life comes at you fast. It was rejected by local Australian clubs, and now he's gone on to make a name for himself in Serie A, so good on him. He's a promising attacking midfielder, and whether he goes on to represent Australia or Italy, it's a win-win for me. We're low-key kinda like raiding Roma at the moment. We're taking as many tip-offs from our rivals and taking what we can get. However, this one has got a little bit of backstory to it. This kid grew up in Frosinone's youth academy, represented our youth teams, then eventually moved on to Roma. It is Giacomo Faticanti. This time, we secure him on a permanent basis straight up and got a cut price for him, 550k, which is solid. So we've brought the young gun back to his rightful home. After 2 midfield bargains, now we're going after a ginger South American. Yeah, who would have thought? He's been a player I've wanted to sign in FIFA 23 for so long now. I've just been waiting for the right moment to do it, and that's Valentin Barco from Boca Juniors. We copped the Argentine on a permanent basis for £1.1 million. Now, a player and a youth talent that has been making waves recently. He's just fresh off winning the under-19 Euros with Italia, and I thought he could be the perfect fit here for life in Serie B. He needs an opportunity in the homeland. That is the winger of Canadian-Nigerian descent, but for some reason he wants to play for Italy. That's my kind of guy, people. He looks like an absolute baller, as we'll be welcoming Luca Warwick Coliocho. He arrives from Espanyol in Spain, negotiated a deal down to 870k. In response to an out-of-character spending spree, we've now got to make a few sales. We're going to raise the funds up, and first cab off the rank is going to be Marcus Roden, who's actually hasn't renewed his contract in real life. He's no longer with us, and we've sold the World Cup Swede for £1.4 million to Burnley. Second one, back-to-back out the door, following Roden after his sale is going to be Luigi Canotto. Oh no, it's Carlo Lulic is the first one who's popped up. The Croatian midfielder moving to Le Havre for £1.1 million. And there you go, Luigi Canotto has chosen Watford. We called him back from loan just to sell him. And another one on the chopping block is a player I never really rated, the Polish defender Przemysław Śleminski. The 28-year-old is now taking the plunge to Turkey. Sivasspor pick him up for 590k. Come on guys, I think everyone knew this one was coming. He's got a game face scan, he's a youngster, he's got high potential, he's an Italian stallion alright. He's another one on the rise and we're bringing him back to the homeland for some proper Serie B experience. He's a FIFA 23 go-to road to glory signing and we just had to bring him in from Werder Bremen. It's Fabio Chiarodia. We included a 20% sell-on clause in order to get him under his market value for 670k. Welcome to Frosinone. As the players come in, some players are going out. That's just going to be the high turnover rates we're introducing at the club. We need to be a catalyst of change and make some funds, to be honest, in this market, as Jamie Baez, the Uruguayan winger, will be off to France. And the defensive reinforcements don't stop there. That's our biggest weakness, and our best defender is our captain, and he's on loan. So we're prepping for a long-term future centre-back pairing. We're implementing two top-class wonder kids ready for the top. And it's going to be another South American prospect, this time the Uruguayan Pereira from Liverpool over in their domestic league. Federico will join us for £2.5 million. He's been our most expensive purchase yet, and a player that we're actually linked to in real life, Logan Costa, the Toulouse centre-back from Cape Verde. Whether we actually get him or not is a whole different story, but we've made the deal official here in career mode for £1.3 million, and at 6'2", he's going to be an absolute monster. Some would say I've been spamming the loan deal glitch in recent videos, but I'm here to take full advantage of any potential glitches that'll help us in game. Whether or not this one works out, yeah, probably not, but it's Francesco Gelli who'll be joining Hamburg in Germany for a 1-year loan spell. And that has freed up the wages for us to welcome who I call the Italian Philip Lahm. It's Filippo Terracciano from Hellas Verona. He's a extremely versatile right midfielder, can play right back, can play centre mid. He's just the ultimate handyman to have in the middle of the park or defense, and we've just had a straight swap deal with Insigne included in the trade deal. And yes, it's Lorenzo's brother Roberto. He's actually left us in real life and has been sold, so I thought it'd be wise to lock in his departure, prioritizing stability, talent, and youth. It's been a hectic opening summer, but that's just the groundwork. We've laid a solid foundation, and now it's time to get to work, as this is what we're dealing with. It's the difference between our team with no loan players, and here's our first team with loan players involved. So there's going to be a big transition period. We're training Terracciano to be a fully fledged right back. Meanwhile, Koleosho will be converted into a right winger, and that position conversion will give him a handy boost up to 66 overall already. Honestly, promotion would be the dream, just so we can replicate what happened in real life, but a playoffs position would be literally ideal. In the bloodbath known as Serie B, the Italian second division takes no prisoners, people. We're tracking along nicely, and come halfway through the season, January's transfer window, we've had a player had their release clause activated, and that's like our third choice, fourth choice striker, Gennaro Borelli. He'll be departing to SV Waldhof for 850k. And with £2 million left in the bank, we could make room for a little bit of winter recruitment. I'm down for it. That's going to be for a player we've actually purchased in real life outright, Riccardo Marquisa, as a backup left back. And hopefully smart boys like him can keep the club up and beat the drop, as we agreed a deal for 1.8 million. Oh my days. Come take a look at this. I absolutely hate having players on loan, because look how many of our players have been called back from their parent clubs. The list keeps on going. January 1st was Judgment Day, and literally our team has been ravaged. We've gone from about 34 players now up to 25, and we ended up not only finishing in the playoffs, but on goal difference, losing out on automatic promotion to Palermo of all teams. We both racked up 74 points, and that's bringing back flashbacks of the 17-18 season. Don't even get me started, but that forced us into playoffs after finishing third in the league. Genoa finish on top as champions as we take her out into the playoffs, and in the Coppa Italia we were knocked out in round 3 to Sampdoria on penalties 4-3. And with our playoff run in the semi-finals, we'll face up against Venezia, which saw us win 3-2 on aggregate, and in the 2-leg playoff final versus Parma, it was a 6-5 aggregate victory, and we got it done in the away leg with a 3-1 comprehensive win. It was goals galore, but Frosinone are back where they belong, baby. We are going up. Say we are going up. Achieving successes just hits hits different when it's with your actual club in career mode. We're going to take a look at our best performers and our top goal scorer, just like in real life, Samuele Mulattieri, the promising young Italian striker who was on loan from Inter, but for some reason just was a permanent player in this squad update. His 19 goals and 4 assists were extremely crucial, just like his strike partner, the homegrown talent Mattia Lombardi. I think it's just the three horsemen in up front, Giuseppe Gazzo. Our number 10 with 18 goals and 5 assists on the left-hand flank, but our main playmaker, we've unearthed an actual gem, Christian Valpato, with 8 goals and 13 assists, 21 goal contributions, some decent production coming out of Coleosho. He's experienced the most growth with a +7 upgrade. Valentin Barco from left back with 10 goal contributions. The Argentine being a surprise package. He's performed above and beyond expectations. Our Uruguayan captain from the back, Pereira, being an absolute unit in a season of chaos. He's just an absolute character. He's a lovable hero, and he actually got himself 2 assists and 12 clean sheets in the process. We had to weather the storm, but boy, we made it through. So BCHD was able to replicate Grosso's success in career mode. Of course, it's my specialty. I did it the hard way though, finishing 3rd through the playoffs, putting a bit of my own personal spin and youthful take on the roster. Now we're up with the big boys though. The first tier is calling our name, and just like real life, I hope you're behind us. I hope you're supporting. People have already been sending me their condolences as we got matched up against Napoli on the first game day. Nevertheless, our main objective is 17th and above. Survival is going to be the target. Becoming a Serie A staple, that's the dream. We've been gifted by the board with just under £10 million, 9.4. Let's try not be a flash in the pan, a one season wonder type beat. We're going to try and navigate this newfound success as easily as possible. And the Moneyball strategy continues here with a player we're actually linked to in real life. It's Milan's own Matteo Gabbia. We're going to capture him from the San Siro with a 1-year loan spell. 2 loan deals back to back. We don't really have the funds yet. We don't have that kind of money in order to bring in Turati, our number 1 in between the sticks, on a permanent basis. So it's just going to have to be another loan spell for now. Another 1-year deal as the out of favor 3rd choice left back Matteo Cotali will join Hoffenheim in Germany. And there you have your confirmation. We finally have a first choice shot stopper. Look, as much as I hate to see it, he's pretty much been our best player, one of the key protagonists to our promotion in real life. The midfield maestro, Daniel Balocca, he's been sold off to Sassuolo for roughly around £8 million. And in this career save, we're selling him off, but not to the Nero Verdi. He'll be joining Union Berlin in the Bundesliga for £8.8 million. And there's another minor sale here with Sofiane Bidawi off to Arsenal. It's not the one you think, for 260k. With those kind of player sales, it's allowed us to free up a little bit in the wage bill and get on board a marquee midfielder. I've had my eyes on him for quite some time. He's an emerging talent from South America, and it's another Uruguayan joining us. Fabrizio Diaz has been balling it out on international youth level for Uruguay. Our brand new number 8 is the perfect Balocca replacement. We've managed to snag him from Liverpool again, just like Pereira, for £7.9 million. Taking the plunge to Europe, testing out his talents in Serie A, and that is our most expensive signing to date. The exciting prospect is ready and roaring to go. Now here's another Milan talent who we're more than happy to rescue. It's the Rossoneri's Marco Brescianini, who we've actually signed in real life, and he'll be a key component to our midfield in real life. Whether he actually does it though in this hometown rebuild and breaks into the first team, I highly doubt it. Just to keep things semi-realistically, I've decided to bring him on a permanent basis for just over £2.2 million. Now the phrase generational talent gets thrown around a lot nowadays, and especially online, you start to see hype for a wonder kid, but I have full faith that this kid is the future of Italian football. Another one who's just balled out this summer at youth level and at the Under-20 World Cup scored an absolutely banging free kick, and that's Udinese's own Simone Pafundi. It didn't take much to prize him away from the Dacia Arena as we've bid it £3 million, his exact valuation with a big sell-on clause. We're starting to notice that we're lacking a little bit of depth out on the wings, and the thing is with this guy is that you can convert him into a centre forward, a winger. For this season at least, he's going to be a secret weapon to bring in off the bench, as we just needed a backup goalkeeper. I've searched into the free agents. The Spaniard Emilio Bernard, with his ponytail and all, will be joining us on a free just as a backup goalie. It's the classic don't fall in love with a lone player, because for this last deal, Alessandro Fontana Rosa, I wanted to make it permanent so we can be a bit of defensive cover at the back. However, we still need to make that Volpato move permanent, and that's for roughly around £3 million. We haven't got that much in the budget, so that deal is going to collapse unfortunately, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. When you're a team of our size, these small deals and little sales actually add up. We need to balance the books, and that's exactly what we've done here as we've we've sold off Francesco Gelli off to Romania. Cluj pick him up for 560k. It's been a summer grind, but I think finally now we have enough cash to make that Volpato move permanent. Get him signed on the dotted line. Let's settle this buy option. The deed has been done for £3.376 million. That is an absolute bargain. Ready to become a certified club legend for the Giallo Azzurri. We can finally stop stressing about it and having it linger in the back of our minds and get on with it. He's made the move to Sassuolo in real life, but hey, we're living in an alternate timeline, so BCHD gets to have the final say. Deadline day has been reached in a bid for our Serie A survival. We've absolutely drained the transfer budget. Here's a quick recap of what went down. We've actually transitioned from that formation that got us promotion, the classic 4-4-2 flat, to our default, what we use in real life. The Grosso imprint is still felt on this team. We've had to drop the two-striker system with Lombardi now a super sub on the bench, but that means Brescianini actually has more of a first-team role than I expected. And from one Uruguayan to another, we've gifted Fabrizio Diaz with the captain's armband. So can we do what no other Frosinone boss has managed to do in history? Keep our heads afloat and survive the drop. And survive we did. We are box office, baby. Keeping our heads afloat in Serie A with 41 points, avoiding the dreaded bottom three as Bologna, Genoa, and Palermo all go back down to the second tier. And now realizing scrolling up the table, I haven't turned on the licenses mod. And like the only important video it actually matters, like we have to look at Roma FC, Latium, Bergamo Calcio, but Juventus win out the league on goal difference with 78 points. And over in the Coppa Italia, we'd love a cheeky cup run, but it wasn't the main agenda this season as we were eliminated in the round of 16. We made it pretty far, copping a 3-1 elimination to Milan. Salvation was the goal, survival was the dream, and we accumulated those 40 golden points to ensure survival. And now it's time to take a look at some of our best performers this season. It was our top bagsman in Serie B to get us promoted, and now he's transformed that form here in the top flight. The Inter Youth Academy product Mulattieri with 14 goals and 2 assists, and second to him is the captain, the new boy, the Uruguayan star Fabrizio Diaz with 11 goals and 7. He's been absolutely monumental. Giuseppe Caso, no matter what league, he's just in his element on the left with 8 goals and 1 assist. Christian Volpato in the middle of the park ever since his permanent move. It's just allowed him to fully express himself, being our main playmaker with 15 assists and top production credits with 22 goal contributions. Coglioscio on the right hand flank with 5 goals, and Terracciano from right back with 3 goals and 2. Pereira and Barco have been absolutely revolutionary in the back four. Lombardi coming in off the bench with a goal. And the two main pieces to the puzzle this season we just have on dry loans, so we're gonna have to buy back Turati and Gabbia. Take a look at this though. Giacomo Faticanti, out on loan in Serie B to Lecce, has grown an incredible +6. Now our highest valued player has just crowned himself to be the poster boy of Frosinone. Diaz pulling off that yellow-blue look like it's no one's business. We've accomplished something in club history that's never been done before, but that doesn't mean the financial board are gonna bend to our will, as we've been gifted with just £35 million in order to improve the squad for season 3. It's a bit of a sticky one still. For the first time in rebuild history, I've had to buy the same player twice. It's a bit of a rogue situation we've been thrown into, but we're willing to sacrifice pretty much 3/4 of the budget. This kid has soaked up a majority of our resources, but every single penny will be worth it to secure our number 1 on a permanent basis, Stefano Turati. He is one of the most underrated keepers in the country, and we'll be breaking our club record transfer fee to bring him home. He just loves it here at the club, and a player that I hope adopts the same culture is going to be pretty much the only centre-back we can afford in the market right now. We've seen other ex-Inter Primavera products actually perform well here, so we're going after another one, and we're running it back with Alessandro Fontana Rosa, grabbing him on a cheap deal, £2 million from the Nerazzurri. If the big clubs, the Seven Sisters, don't want to give their own youth talents, one of their own, a chance, we're more than willing to take them on so that they can flourish here in Central Italy. In this division, defense keeps you up, so with those kind of recruitments, we've had to actually leverage here and send out our young talented prospect Charodia out on loan. The real face wonder kid, he just hasn't found his stride, so we'll be sending him out on loan to Spain. Elche pick him up on a 2-year deal, as he joins a mini batch of players enjoying loan spells away from the first team, including Lucas Clitton, Bocic, Andrea Oliveri, and Sergio Calais. You never know, the loan deal glitch could come in clutch for us, like it has many other times in these videos. 2 big boy signings and a bunch of loan deal outputs later, and that has drawn us down to deadline day. The only real change to our starting lineup is that Fontana Rosa takes over Gabbia, whose loan spell expired, and we're now implementing Pafundi into the midfield as a left left attacking cam. Diaz shifts a little bit deeper just to be a box-to-box midfielder. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The goal again is just survival, stability in the top flight, because anything other than that is just a bonus. Rising up the ranks is an art form, and only the best run institutions can do it. I'm glad I'm part of the process, because we've now climbed up to 12th spot, just rearing our head into the top half of the table. Well, we're in touching distance at least, as we completely avoided the relegation battle, as Parma, Cagliari and Salernitana all make the drop to the second tier, and moving up towards the top end of the table, it was actually Inter to win it out quite comfortably, the Scudetto, with 86 points. Juventus completely fell off. You love to see it. Sassuolo up in 6th, and our Coppa Italia run was cut short in the round of 16 for the second year running, with Inter getting the better of us over Perri's 5-4. It's an ambitious project at Frosinone that I'm willing to continue the legacy of here in career mode, and we're taking a look at some of our top performers, and for the third season running, Samuele Mulattieri has been our Golden Boot winner. 17 goals and 1 assist. He's now up to 82 overall, announcing himself as one of the best strikers in the country. And Giuseppe Caso, he's just been a hit ever since he joined us in real life. A direct, fast, tricky winger with 12 goals and 3 assists, and Fabrizio Diaz, the captain, leads by example, becoming our highest rated player. His production saw 10 goals and 5. Meanwhile, Coglioscio has just been, chipping away at it on the right hand side. Nothing too extraordinary, only 6 goals and 1 assist, and an actual veteran in our squad now. Luca Garitano has been getting involved with 5 goals and 6 assists. Valentin Barco from left back even getting involved with 9 goal contributions, and Mattia Lombardi, a viable option in and off the bench with 3 goals and 1. Volpato dialed it back a little bit this campaign, only with 2 goals and 10. Turati holding us down in between the sticks with 9 clean sheets, and Pafundi in and off the bench with 3 goals. The loan deal report is here. No real staggering outcomes except Andrea Oliveri with a +9. He's working his magic out in Belgium, and big boy Fabio out in Spain with a magical +8, so he could be looking at a callback. And 2 of our most expensive assets have a 50 million plus price tag range. Now that we're low-key secure and safe, I'd love a big cup run in season 4. There's just something magical about it, as we've been gifted with a transfer budget of only £31 million. I don't know how the board have come up with that figure, but it's what we've got to work with. Matteo Cancellieri has been an Italian wonderkid I've been wanting to buy for the entire FIFA 23 game cycle. Finally, the stars have aligned where it just all makes sense. He's a Lazio boy or from their youth setup, and this is just the ultimate power move. They're technically our biggest rivals, and we're out here converting one of their star boys into our own. He's moved to the right side of Lazio, joining a provincial powerhouse, getting the deal done with Hellas Verona, as I am planning to convert him into a left winger just so we can get a bit of depth and competition for both Caso and Coglioscio. Due to his versatility and dynamic nature, I want him to be a master of every single position in the front three. Let it be known that this kid isn't here to take part, he's here to take over. You know the vibes, our transfer budget has been completely drained thanks to that purchase, so we're gonna have to opt for a couple of free agents. Business is business, it's just strategic, and we need some just for squad depth, as Elia Caprile is going to be a backup for Turati. We have 2 of the most high potential Italian goalkeepers on our roster. That's just crazy to think about, as we have Salvatore Esposito joining him, who'll be our 3rd and final player pickup. You know you're getting deep into career mode when you start to see stuff like this. Nottingham Forest offering up Ilkay Gundogan plus £11 million for your homegrown talented striker. I'm just too stunned to speak, as we've had another quality over quantity type window. We are now looking like one hell of a consistent unit. Let's see if we can now push for Europe and start challenging the big boys in season 4. I'm in a dream state at the moment. We've been gifted a finals berth at the Stadio Olimpico versus Atalanta in the Coppa Italia final. We took down Napoli, defeated Fiorentina, and absolutely demolished Milan on the way. I want to be here to witness my club lift up a major piece of silverware for the first time in their history. And it's all going down in the capital tonight. A blockbuster show off, and here we go. It's a 1-0 win. The boys have pulled through with a Pafundi 74th minute winner. It was ugly, it was scrappy, but that's it. My hometown club, Frosinone Calcio, are Coppa Italia winners. Light the flares, start the party, because we are massive. Not only does that trophy grant us European football, but our performances in the league have gifted us a Champions League spot. 70 points, finishing in 3rd. We're up there with the big boys, and that's a top 4 finish. We are now officially in Europe's elite competition. We don't have to worry about Conference or Europa League football. Juve down in 6th. It's a downfall that needs to be studied for Napoli, languishing down in 14th, as it's Spezia, Venezia, and and Pisa all meeting their fate going down to Serie B, but what a season. It's been an unprecedented run out, showcasing that the little guy can do it too. With the right planning, recruitment and signings along the way, we have knocked it out of the ballpark. And ladies and gentlemen, lay your eyes on the 4-time Golden Boot winner at this club consecutively. Samuele Mulattieri just knows how to find the back of the net. 22 goals and 2 assists as the lone striker. The lone wolf up top as the devil's in the details. Coliocho is finally coming to his own. He's hit a personal best with 18 goals and 3 assists this time out. Giuseppe Caso locking it down. It's his house alright, as he wasn't phased by Cancellieri coming in as competition. Del Capitano is perfectly balanced with 10 goals and 10 assists. Our cup final hero to thank, Pafundi. He scored pretty much the most important goal of his career, and we can't take that away from him as one of our biggest playmakers in recent years. His production has been lacking, but he is still a first team baller. 2 goals for Mattia Lombardi in and off the bench, and I think he has submitted a transfer request, so that's no good. Cancellieri in his debut campaign at the club with 2 goals and 2 assists off the bench, and Mr. Frosinone himself, Stefano Turati, with 6 clean sheets in 43 appearances. I know I throw this phrase around a lot, but our boy Fabio is going to feel like a brand new signing upon his return. His 2-season loan spell is over at Elche, and he comes back as pretty much one of our best centre backs. The defender received a +5 overall boost, and that's been the biggest out of the lot. How good does that look? It just sends shivers down the spine. We've added the Coppa Italia to our collection, a top 4 finish. It's got me thinking, will I ever see my team win a major piece of silverware? Probably not in my lifetime, but it's nice to actually live vicariously and achieve these things in career mode. We've reached the half-a-decade mark. European football continental action is calling our name, and our budget reflects that, with our financial team giving us £83 million. That is a significant rise, because on my watch, it's going to be a very surgical summer. We're out here battling in the Champions League this campaign, and I'll let it be known, I am shitting myself. Are we prepared? Did we rise up through the ranks too fast? Can these lads handle the pressure? How is Sir BCHD going to guide his hometown club into their first European campaign? Well, that's by purchasing continental quality in this market. We've sought after Mohamed Kamara, having to cough up £40 million, our most expensive signing to date. We're going to pivot back to that CDM midfield, having a protector and a player that's incisive. He's got the long passer trait, and I can tell he just knows how to run the midfield. That means shifting Diaz out into the left. Our captain will be back on the centre mid role, and Kamara slots ever so nicely as a CDM. It was fun whilst it lasted, but all good things must come to an end, as our 6'6" academy prospect has forced to move out the club. Lombardi submitted his transfer request long ago, and now we're fulfilling his dreams. It's a sad moment for the fans, but if he doesn't want to be here, I'll grant his wish, as we've done another deal with Monaco, this time selling them a player, as our stallion joins them for a whopping £46.5 million. With Lombardi's departure that sent shockwaves around the club, we're gonna have to go after the next best thing. I went searching on the market, and our scouts recommended us this kid. He's a new up-and-coming Brazilian talent that's been generated into the game. He's specific to this save and will be our brand new backup striker. He's a dynamic South American centre forward, Dennis de Oliveira, who arrives from Fenerbahce for £30.6 million. He's a certified dynamo, covering pretty much every attacking position in the spine. He's showing great potential, and the 21-year-old forward can play at centre forward, cam and striker. The Lombardi sale money has also gifted us the financial freedom in order to run it back with a former favourite. He was a fresh loanee from Milan in our debut campaign in the top flight, and now our Serie A starlet is joining back again, Matteo Gabbia. I'm giving Fabio a fighting chance on his return, but Gabbia just provides us with that top level stability, and the Pafundi experiment has gone down like a lead balloon, so he drops back down to the bench. Would you look what we have here? Pinch me, it's starting to feel real now. Frosinone in the Champions League, been drawn out of the hat and drawn into Group C, matched up with Spurs, Celtic and the Romanian FCSB. It's a feel-good baptism of fire that I'm sure these Lions can handle. In an ideal world where all my dream transfers and signings happen, in another universe where Sir BCHD is king, yeah, these kind of events happen, Frosinone are Italian champions. We capture the Scudetto in stunning fashion for the first time in club history, and I feel honoured. With only 3 losses all season, we've conquered domestically in this 5-year plan. Towards the bottom end of the table, it is Sampdoria, Parma and Bari, all in a relegation finish. Napoli still languishing in 15th, and actually over in the Italian Super Cup, I completely forgot about this, but in the one-off game versus Milan, we lost out in a 7-goal thriller 4-3. Another piece of silverware square miss, but we didn't care because we're Italian champions. We've already been there, done that with the Coppa Italia, and over 2 legs we'll tour the lesson by Inter 5-1. Our continental debut could have gone better. We lost out on the knockout stage by 1 point and folded like a deck chair in Group C. Relegated to the Europa League, this is how our adventure went down. We were knocked out in the quarterfinals to Villarreal. The Yellow Submarine sunk us 4-2 on aggregate, as it was an oil money derby in the Europa League. PSG vs Man City in the final. What is going on in this world? This domestic machine have draped the Italian trophy in yellow and blue stripes for the first time in history. It is a monumental moment, and our top goal scorer situation, it's finally changed. Mulattieri's been knocked off his perch by Giuseppe Caso. Pepe putting up an all-time classic season of 26 goals and 9 assists from the left. He is in the peak of his powers. Something even scarier though is Coleosho, who with 22 goals and 4 assists, he one-ups himself last time out, but he's only 22. Luca Warwick, my son, behave, as Muller goals still comes through with 20 plus goals. He's almost announced himself into the 90s range, but the first player to do so is the captain Fabrizio Diaz. 8 goals and 9 assists from our trusty Uruguayan. He's been dropping hit after hit ever since we signed him, and our striker in and off the bench, his debut campaign, De Oliveira, with 8 goals and 9. Tadacciano has just been grinding away in the background. The silent achiever with 5 goals and 5 assists from right back. Volpato is just doing what he's got to do at Cam with 5 goals and 8. Matteo Cancellieri off the bench with 5 and 2. It's the debutant Kimara, a lieutenant from CDM, with 4 goals and 5 assists. Our prodigal son in between the sticks has finally hit double figures in clean sheets. He's copped 12, and you can sense something is cooking here in the south of Lazio, as we now have 5 players valued at over £100 million. We had some mid-season news to report on, as Profundi has actually submitted a loan request, so we fulfilled his dream. We've had to walk the kid out the doors. It hasn't really turned out the way we've all hoped, but a 12-month spell out in Spain for Atletico Madrid might do him a world of good. Now the transition into Season 6 is going to be so much smoother. Serie A, check. Coppa Italia, check. Now we're going to have to manifest and fully focus our energy towards Europe. And the kind of money we're in cahoots with for our 6th stint is £121 million, gifted an absolute war chest by the board. I know we continuously start chopping and changing around centre backs, but you know what? I've decided to go all in on one. It was the one real key area, that centre half spot, that was lacking in the first team, and on paper, this guy's an upgrade in every form. We needed some of that high-end Champions League experience, a bit of bulk and flair in the back line. He's got leader potential written all over him. It's Josip Sutalo. The Croatian arrives from PSG. A little bit of a swap deal. We included Logan Costa plus £40.3 million in order to convince the Parisians. He's just about approaching the peak of his powers at 27. He'll be partnering up with Ferreira in the backs. Now this kid in recent months has provided the Azzurri, the Italian national team, with a bit of spark, some attacking excitement, something to look forward to. He's direct, he runs at players, and he'll be in Mancini setups for the years to come. It's another one of these inter-academy prospects they let go. Arriving from Leeds, it's Willy Gnotto. This one's another swap deal, as we managed to include Andrea Oliveri in the trade, plus £49.8 million to Leeds. And voila, with the click of a button, we've secured another star forward, and a player that's just an expert in anywhere up front. He's still only 23. He can play on the left, on the right, and can fill in at striker. What more do you want? That's Champions League quality. I know what you're thinking. No, not another centre back. Is BCHD losing his mind? But no, I was looking for something very specific in Tiago De Jalo, our brand new Portuguese defender from Levante. I've realised we've got 2 world-class wing backs, but no actual decent backup for them, just in case. We needed a bit of cover in the wing back spot. It was in our price range, in our budget. It becomes a Giallo Azzurri, as we included Riccardo Marquisa in the deal, plus £26.4 million. We were rinsed for every single penny, but we were able to get it over the line. This is what we're up against in Europe this time around, and we've been handed a pretty straightforward group here, drawn in with Olympic Lyon, RB Salzburg, and RFC Serang. Honestly, I've got no clue where they're from, so it should be a walk in the park. 3 buys, 3 trades. This summer just keeps on delivering, as we've hit another major milestone. It's a big landmark event in our story, as we now have gained 5-star status, 87 rated attack, 87 midfield, and 86 defense. We're one of the most consistent outfits out there. And just for good measure, to showcase our squad depth and quality, we've built yet another team sheet. And believe me, these lads know they're on the precipice of achieving something amazing. They're drooling for it. They're gagging for it. A deep run in the Champions League is what we're craving. You've read the headlines correctly. That's right. We're going back to back. Our Serie A title defense was successful, and once more, Frosinone, champions of Italy, 2-time, baby. It was actually much more of a competitive race. Up until the last few match days, everything was in the air as Fiorentina, Juve, and Inter make up the top 4. Over towards the bottom end of the table, it is Empoli, Lecce, and Venezia, all going back down to Serie B. I guess you can count that as a double. We do take home the Super Cup against Coppa Italia champions Milan 4-1, completing the set. We've won every piece of domestic silverware available to us, and unfortunately, our Coppa Italia title defense went down like a lead balloon, as our second shot at Champions League success went down just as well as an OnlyFans model trying to gain respect from the public. There was just no chance, as we demolished the group. We topped it with 14 points, and that somehow got us matched up against Bayern Munich, where we were decimated 5-1 over 2 legs, and they eventually went on to win the whole thing against Man City. Talk about hard luck of the draw. It's still valuable experience for the boys to take with them into Season 7 as we take a look at the goal scoring charts. Luka Warwick, usually I wouldn't trust a man with 2 first names, but Koleosho makes up for it with 26 goals and 6 assists. He just keeps going from strength to strength at 23, and Muller goal in there, of course, with 20 plus. It's just a casual 27 goal contributions. Another season at the office for him as a big boy Diaz the Destroyer, the Uruguayan leader, with double figures in both departments. One of only 2 players to achieve that, him and Christian Volpato. 30 goal contributions for the both of them, as Beppe Caso actually announced himself as a world-class baller, reaching that 90s overall. Terracciano from right back is just an unsung hero. Mo Kamara doing his best Yaya Toure impression at CDM, as William Giotto off the bench with 3 goals and 1. Pafundi's loan spell out at Atletico Madrid did him, slight favour, +3 upgrade. It sees the 22-year-old return to our roster next campaign, as Turati's gloves managed 14 clean sheets in 49 appearances. We have a new challenger on top of the tree when it comes to financial value. Christian Volpato is up to a 90 and now boasts a price tag of 140.5 million. Count them, that's right, 7 players now in the 9-figure club. We were whiskers away from my beloved Leone doing the domestic treble. We fumbled the bag on that regard, but the Champions League efforts, I guess that's just a whole different realm. So let's see if we can get the job done come Season 7. I'm considering bending the rules of financial play just a tad in case we get desperate, as we've been gifted with a chunky 130 million pounds in the bank. Now it's just what we're used to. Look at the impact we have on the international game though, as most of our squad have been called up to the 2028 Euros. Now I wanted to leave no reasonable doubt to our Champions League ambitions. We're putting out a strong message not only to the rest of Italy, but all of Europe, and this continent is about to get shell-shocked. After the Euros, we're confirming the signing of one of Italy's top guns. It is another Fabio Miretti. The now world-class midfielder joins from Bournemouth. We had to pay up 100 million pounds on the dot. To be honest with you guys, I just wanted another flex signing. This is just adding to our arsenal of superstar talent. It's a statement of intent saying that Frosinone are back up. Once you start splashing that cash, and the budget was easily soaked up, we could only afford one more player in our budget. We've been keeping tracks on him this entire time. Matteo Retegui, he's gone from Argentinian to Italian. He's changed allegiances, and now we finally have an answer in real life to the Immobile problem. He's a clinical goal scorer. He can net them in. He's just a typical fox in the box poacher, and he'll be a lethal surprise weapon to bring in off the bench. For 37.4 million pounds, we agreed a deal with Torino. He's making the move to Genoa in real life, which is just such a huge transfer for them. In our case, he's just here for the ride, ready to be another piece of firepower in our attack. Now, isn't this the weirdest Champions League group you've ever seen? But this is our reality now. I've been drawn into Group G with Newcastle, Villarreal, and Lech Poznan. We've put the whole damn continent on notice, and this is our warning signal. Don't come for us, because it is do or die in every single category, in every single facet. We are just elite. We are the moment. This is our time, so let's get it done. We've proven to ourselves in the world that we are gargantuan. However, the three-peat was not an offer this season, as we come through finishing 3rd. Fiorentina now crowned as kings as they scalp the Scudetto off us. It's still a top 4 finish, as the Giallo Azzurri continue to reign supreme. Over getting relegated is Ascoli, Torino, and Parma. We do go back-to-back though in the Super Cup, and again it's against Milan with a 4-2-6 goal thriller win, and that was in fact the only piece of domestic silverware we were able to pick up. We eliminated to Udinese on penalties. On the continental scene though, we were undefeated in the group, getting 10 points, but we came through top as we got matched up against Borussia Dortmund, and a 5-4 aggregate win saw us progress past the round of 16. We jumped over that hurdle, and this would be just a painful game for me to watch. Two teams that I both support thought whatever the outcome was, I'd be a winner. But in the case of this rebuild, it's a 3-2 win on an aggregate against the English. And then here in the semi-finals, in an all-Italian affair, we take down the nefarious. You either love them or hate them. It's Juve in a proper beatdown of the old lady, winning 4-3 on aggregate to book our place in with PSG. It's a big dance final in 2029 up against the Parisians, who just fresh off destroying Spurs 8-1 over 2 legs. We've reached the pinnacle, we've climbed Everest, and now it's time to take a look at what we've built. I hope I've done my area proud, putting Frosinone back on the map. We're back in Serie A, and who knows, maybe I've converted some of you to follow our journey and just, you know, become mini fans. Machine Gun Kelly, I never heard of him. We've got our own MCK right here with Mulattieri, Caso, and Coleosho. Our front three carrying the majority of the goal contribution. 28 goals for Caso, 27 for Mulagol. MSN, come outside because these three would like to talk. The Destroyer having a quiet innings with 5 goals and 5, but still his contribution was invaluable. Fabio from the back with 3 goals. Kamara, such a domineering presence at CDM, 3 goals and 5 for him. The Ginger Freak Valentin Barco with a glorious 10 goal contributions. Our Brazilian Dennis the Menace with 2 goals and 2 off the bench. Fabio Miretti actually making a fair few productive cameos. Retegui off the bench with 2 goals. And he picked up a major injury throughout the season, but Stefano Turati managed 10 clean sheets in 46 appearances. Caprile had to fill in for him, and someone that I'm really disappointed in this time rounds, it's Christian Volpato. We're used to seeing him high up in the goal scoring ranks. Now all he's got to show for is 9 assists this time round. Let's hope he can redeem himself in tonight's final and stand up as our most valuable player is in fact that man. He's the poster child of this Frosinone project. It's just poetry in motion that he turns out to be our most expensive asset. Forget Barbie versus Oppenheimer. This is the real summer blockbuster you've got to have your eyes on. It's the inevitable enemy PSG. They're lining up with Mbappe and Ulan up top. A couple of Italian stallions sprinkled in there with Gianluigi Donnarumma guarding the post. We've got a bit of a selection headache. Mulattieri suspended for tonight. Are you kidding me? He's the man who's arguably got us to this point, so we're going to have to slot in De Oliveira and hopefully he can live up to the hype. That's a monumental blow. It's as big as losses come. However, that's not going to stop us from going out there tonight and unleashing havoc on the French outfit. We've got the nuclear codes and we want to rain our atomic energy all over PSG. It's as grand a stage as they come. The UCL Final at the Santiago Bernabeu is what dreams are made of. I probably will never see these events unfold in real life. FIFA and career mode is my only outlet, so let's get this kicked off as Unal for PSG will get us underway. Barella now pushes forward with Turati coming out on Mbappe. Is that going to be a penalty straight away? No, he's offside. Okay. Heart just dropped there for a moment. Finds him again. Now out wide to Kamara. De Oliveira cuts around his defender and the number 20 has a strike and Donnarumma has to push it away for a corner, but it's the first little warning shot from Sir BCHD's men. Well, the chemistry on the left-hand flank for PSG is just absolutely phenomenal, but Turati had to do a near-post miracle save to deny them getting the opener. They're tricky. Unal is hungry for a goal. Giuseppe Caso has to head that one away. It's landed to Marquinhos and Turati with another big glove. We find one back inside. Kamara all alone, unmarked, unleashes Terracciano over to Coleosho. And now Volpato can put him through again. It's a lovely little 1-2 and the option's in the middle. De Oliveira, our number 20 replacement for the club legend Mulattieri. He only needed one chance to slot home a perfectly set up goal. He couldn't miss. The man doesn't miss. This team might be made up of predominantly Italians, but this South American flair is launching us to a new level. 1-0 to my boys Frosinone right on the 31st minute. It's game on. Mbappe ball over the top. We've tripped up Barella, but they still managed to get their connection underway. And when you talk about nuclear power, Oppenheimer would have been proud of that. The French Ninja Turtle drops an absolute bomb into the top left-hand corner. Turati's been flawless so far, but there's some things you just can't stop. And our defense shows its first sign of weakness. We need a big hit on Mbappe. Put him in his place. Kamada now. Surely. Kamada. Mbappe's put a perfect ball in, and where was Turati? It's a double sucker punch hit from PSG as Gravenberch. All he had to do was slot it home into an empty net. And as soon as you get a little bit too comfortable, the French know how to penetrate. It rolled ever so peacefully to the Dutchman, and he made no mistake. Big battles on the pitch tonight. Gravenberch, Diaz, needs to get the better of him, and our defense is currently rocked. It's going to be half time though. Sir BCHD needs to get the lads in the right mindset, and it's going to be a locker room team talk for the ages. De Oliveira out wide to Caso, who'll cut back on the inside and can release De Oliveira, who might be a hero. Why did he touch? Caso back on the inside. We've got numbers, we've got options, and De Oliveira back on over to Volpato. It's his moment, it's 1-on-1 with Donnarumma, and that's the equalizer we've been craving. Christian Volpato, take a bow. Our number 17 starlet from season 1, from day dot. And De Oliveira is having the game of his life. He's scoring them, he's setting them up. It's 2-2. What a time for Volpato to net his first goal of the season. In the biggest of moments, he's a big game player. Back out to Skriniar and Diaz with an important interception, which can let Kamada strike one from range. And the Mali international with what could possibly be the game winner. Diaz with a groundbreaking interception to let our African powerhouse unload one on Donnarumma. He's another unlikely goal-scoring source, but he let it rip as it fizzed past Gigio to put the great Frosinone back in the lead. The momentum, the energy, it's just shifted, and it's a lovely little 1-2. Him and Koleosho. He wants his second assist, and it's a perfectly weighted ball into Diaz. Leon Goretzka comes on for Buongiorno. I've just been so involved into this game. I've been so absorbed in the moment. I've completely forgotten to do any subs. It's just strategic, lads. Don't worry. We're soaking up the clock, draining the minutes. Surely not. I'm going to park the bus. I don't care. I'm defending this with my life. There's no need for extra time. We all know who the dominant outfit are. And Kamada's in for a second. He could set up Miretti to end it all. And that is vicious. That is unnerving. He hopped onto the cause at the finish line. It was just a luxury transfer, but what a way to send off this game. Kamada with a goal and assist to Fabio Miretti. He's got Turati out here celebrating like he's Joe Hart in 2012. The Ciociari send a dagger to the city of love, and the referee puts them out of their misery. My team, my hometown club, Frosinone, are European champions. Don't pinch yourselves, it's really happening. The character and efforts shown by these guys. No mulattieri, no worries. They get the job done. They do what they had to do, and they've made me ever so proud in the process. Things weren't going our way, but the boys stuck together, and at the unit, the chemistry they have is undefeated. It's unmatched. Our captain, Diaz the Destroyer, will have the honors of lifting that holy grail. Let's hope one day in the not too distant future, this could unfold and actually happen in real life. I could die happy. And to do it all against PSG, we're just an honest, humble club at the end of the day. It's just surreal to do it. Honestly, I love doing videos with Frosinone. I love to involve them as much as possible in my content, and have my word, you'll be seeing a lot more of them in the future on this channel, in FIFA and in real life. I can't wait to finally visit. I can't wait to finally go to the stadium, go to games. It's gonna be magical. But for now, we've become European champions, completed the hometown rebuild, probably one of the most requested videos on the channel all FIFA 23 cycle. If you've made it this far and gone on to enjoy, please leave a like down below. Hit subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never miss out on any content or the upcoming EAFC 24 news. Follow me on all my socials. The links will be down in the description below. And as always, I've been your boy, Sir BCHD. Have a great day, take care, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.